Welcome back to the program. So, a couple things. I waited as long as I possibly could to do a show tonight for obvious reasons. I was hoping and praying that we were going to have some results definitive results for Spencer Pratt and for the governor in California, and of course, some of the other races and things like that. But I'll be honest, I've been really just concentrating on the Los Angeles mayoral race, and I guess, for the most part, the governor's race as well. And so we'll get into that here in just a second. But the other thing that I was going to say is I'm going to make this video short because the non-early bird that I am not, I got to get up really early, like 5:30 in the morning. And I know for some of those people that work every day, you're going, damn, Josh, 5:30? Hold my beer. I get up every day like that. Well, I don't, okay? So I don't get up that early. But we adopted a new dog. I got it actually from Shannon. And Shannon's a good friend now, and close friend. We reconciled. I think people knew that. But he's been very busy. He's been very busy. He's even thinking of running for political office. And I may end up being his campaign manager. So we'll see what happens with that. Local, small race, mayor race type of thing. But he has a beautiful golden doodle. Beautiful, black golden doodle. And it's already close to 70 pounds. And so tomorrow morning, it's about a year old. Tomorrow morning, we're getting it. It's a terrible word to say about a dog when you cut their nuts off. We're, quote, fixing you. Well, I don't know how that's fixing, okay? It wasn't broke. And if you cut your nuts off, pretty sure you're not fixing anything, okay? You're probably breaking something. But I digress. They call it fixing. That is what it is. So the male dog getting neutered tomorrow. And so it's going to be a busy day. I'm going to be with the dog and got to get him back and everything else. So anyway, I'll show you some pictures in the thumbnail. But he's a big dog. He's bigger than my biggest dog, which is Bigley. And Bigley's pretty big. He's 76 pounds. And this one's already taller and could probably hit 80, 85 pounds. So pretty big dog. So, but sweet, gentle giant, just like Biggs. And so we're excited. So, we're now back up to 4. We were at 3. Now we're back up to 4 again. So my wife says she wants a dog, and well, I say, okay, honey, basically. But he's a sweet dog, and he's we got lucky. It's funny because we got Bigley from someone that knew Shannon, and now we have this one as well. So anyway, wanted to just kind of touch on that real quick. But let's get into what we're going to talk about, the good news and the bad news, okay? The great news, or the good news, would have been, just like what Spencer Pratt said earlier today, I'm going to win outright. There's not going to be a runoff. I got all these votes coming in, and it's over, and that's the end of it. It's going to be tonight, and I'm going to be the mayor-elect. Well, unfortunately, that did not happen. This is California, Satan's playground, whatever you want to call it. And so the decent news, I guess you could say at this point, is he is going to more than likely be in the runoff. Right now, it looks like 36.5% for Basshole, as we like to call her. And Pratt is at 29.2. And the communist, well, they're all communists, let's face it. But Rahman is at 21.4. And so at this point, Basshole is definitely going to be in the runoff. And hopefully, Spencer Pratt will be the one that is going to be running against her. And who knows? I mean, look, this is California. The enthusiasm is through the roof for Spencer Pratt. But this is California, okay? This is baked in voter fraud USA. They don't have a voter day or anything like that. It's months. They probably won't even call the results for days because they cheat. This is what they do. This is why we need the SAVE Act, right? But more importantly, it's also why we need to challenge the maps everywhere, including in California. California patriots out there, challenge your maps, because the Supreme Court just shot down in Alabama, right? The left, NAACP, whatever. I was just talking about it with Dan yesterday or the day before, whenever it was. And bottom line is, I said, well, they're going to challenge it. They're not going to go with the Supreme Court decision. It's going to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is going to shoot it down. Well, guess what? That's exactly what happened today. So that means, just so everyone knows, that when the Democrats and these judicial gnats, as I like to call them, these left-wing radical extremist judges, decide to ignore the will of the U.S. Supreme Court, they're going to get slapped down when the appeal goes to the Supreme Court. That's what happened in Alabama. That's what happened in Louisiana. That's what happened in a couple of other states. That's what happened in Florida. That's what happened in Texas. And guess what? It's going to continue, okay? So they can try to stall. They can try to file these stupid little lawsuits all they want, but the Supreme Court is going to every single time shoot it down. Plain and simple, okay? So that's why I am saying and stressing the importance of challenging the maps. Challenge the maps. Challenge the maps, okay? And I am going to put together a show. I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but I will put together a show showing exactly how to do it. But it's one thing to give the information. It's one thing to cook the meal, but I need you to eat it, okay? And that means you need to devour it, you need to take it, and you need to figure out a way in your respective states, all the patriots out there, wherever you are, you can challenge the maps. Look at Calais. They weren't anything. That was just a couple of voters that said, hey, we don't like these maps. They challenged it. And guess what? It went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court did the right thing. So Joe Blow, whoever, can challenge the maps. Let's challenge the maps. Then we won't have runoffs in communist, states like California anymore, because it won't matter. We're not going to be in a situation, once these maps are thrown out, they're not going to have power. Do you realize the power of challenging these maps? I don't think anyone understands the magnitude of what this can do for our country. I tried to explain it with Dan the other night. And yeah, we touched on a lot and I gave a lot of details. But, I mean, if we wipe out their power structure, we wipe out their fraud structure, which means that we wipe out their voting structure, which means that you're not going to have these insane, asinine candidates like Nazi Nipples, or I guess would be another name for him would be Adolf Hitler, right? Let's call him what he really is. So that's why it's so important to challenge these maps. But anyway, I'm on a tangent. Let me get back on track. So it looks like there's going to be a runoff between Spencer Pratt and Basshole. And then in the other race, the governor's race, that one, let's see here. Where's the results on that one? Is it right here? No. Where is it? Oh, hang on. Give me a second. It's right here. So on that race, Hilton has been winning considerably pretty much all night. So let's see here. Let me give you the quickest update we've got. So it looks like right now, what did my thing lock up? Here it is. Oh, come on. Good thing I have my cell phone on me, because my computer just shut down. No shit, in the middle of what we're doing. That's okay. We got it right here. Okay, here we go. So it looks like it's 27.5% for Steve Hilton, and Xavier Becerra is at 25.5%. And so Hilton has 1,263,000 votes, and Xavier has 1,174,000 votes. And Steyer is at 19.7% at 905,000. So the reality is that at least at this point, if that can hold, he's going to be in the runoff, or who knows, maybe, just maybe, if things don't change, he could win outright. But we'll see what happens. 53% of the vote is in right now, and there is still remaining 4 million votes. Now remember that is for the entire state, where Los Angeles, there's I think there's 400,000 votes left. But again, this is the problem with these left-wing states. So you have, how many you got? You have 387,000 votes with 50.8% of the vote in already. Okay? I don't know what this all means, to be honest. It's crazy to think that with how bad Los Angeles is and how insane things have gotten, from the homeless to the fentanyl to the drugs to the murders to the garbage to the shit and the piss and the urine, and just how just terrible it is. I don't understand why it wasn't a blowout for Spencer Pratt. I mean, if you lived in a city full of shit and sludge with naked zombies, as he likes to say, fentanyl, drug addicts, and murderers all around you, wouldn't you vote for the one person who says, I'm going to clean all that shit up? I'm going to put all those people in jail. I'm going to get rid of all these things. Whether he can do it or not, which I think he can, but whether he can do it or not, why wouldn't you support that? Why wouldn't it be like the race called in like 10 minutes after the polls close? Like, that's the problem with this country, because the left has been able to be baked in for generations, year after year after year, decade after decade after decade. And because they have done this, they don't care about the people. They never have. It's all about this, and it's all about power. And that's why they're so dangerous. And here we are in a situation where any person with a normal brain would be voting for Spencer Pratt. I mean, it's crazy. So anyway, but again, I always have the solutions. No matter what, I'm always going to have the solution. And that solution is challenging the maps. So anyway, I got to get to bed. I got to get up early, which I don't like to do, but I got to bring the dog in and get it fixed, as they say. Anyway, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.